Hello, freezing tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play some more Seiken Densetsu 3 with me, Blue Ankylo, and Duran. So, last episode, we barely survived the Earth element Benovedon, and took him out. Actually, the boss wasn't that difficult, but the dungeon was really brutal, and I don't think I would recommend doing that one first. Although the enemy level scale, no matter where you go, that one seems to have some really nasty, like, status attacks and a weird spread of elemental weaknesses and strengths. The ice, I ended up coming here to do my grinding. As soon as you kill, just in case you didn't know, as soon as you kill the Earth, or as soon as you kill a Benevedon, a boss, all Benevedon areas enemies get +2, including the one you just finished. So if you go back into the dungeon you just cleared, the enemies are stronger after you kill the boss. So we were at level, we killed, the first time the area was level 28, and then we killed the boss, and then all the enemies jumped up to level 30 in all areas, including the Earth area and, well, the Ice area, which is where I ended up going. I forgot how to get to some of them. Like, it's the Benevedon areas, the new areas, are generally connected to the Mana Stone, so you can easily find the one for the Ice one. The Earth one was a little bit hard to find, and thinking back, I actually remember not finding it the first time I played through. Perhaps because you never saw the Earth Stone the first time through, you weren't really supposed to know where to go, and it was supposed to be, as much as they can be done in any order, maybe it was sort of designed to be a little bit of a later game one. Whereas we saw the Ice Stone, we know where it is. We saw the Firestone, we know where it is. We saw the Wind Stone, and we know where it is. So you can start with those three, and definitely find those dungeons just connected to their Mana Stones. Those are the only three we saw, I think. Pretty sure. So the other ones require a little bit more exploration to figure out where they are. And maybe therefore a bit difficult. But anyway, point is, we're here. You'll probably notice that I'm a higher level than last episode because I've been doing some grinding in here. I would say this dungeon was a lot easier to kill random enemies than the Earth one, so maybe it is better to go here first than to go to the Earth one. I don't know. The enemies are tougher, but I'm also tougher myself. So it took us a little while to get to level 30. We actually didn't even get enough money to buy all the weapons and stuff that I was going to buy. Just so you can see our stats, I think we got, what, 2 or 3 level ups for everybody, and I generally was able to increase stamina once and strength, intellect, or spirit once for all of the 3 main stats, basically. So pretty standard, I think. And then I was able to buy most of the equipment. We have now upgraded our helmet and body armor and accessory, or whatever we're calling it, band, ring slot for everybody. The helmet and the ring slot still provide basically no, like, it's just +2 or +1 defense per tier, so that's not very important. And I was able to buy Carly's upgraded flail, although it was really expensive, and Charlotte, I mean, it's still not going to make her do very much damage, but it is slightly stronger, and she's had a couple points of strength up, so she's hitting a little bit more decently than Angela. I figured giving Angela 10 more strength or attack power doesn't really matter, because she's still going to do 1 damage to everything. Anyway, so I didn't have enough money to buy Angela's. It's another 7,500, and maybe by the time we're done this dungeon, we'll have enough. I'll just show it off here briefly. But, yeah, I did not have enough money to buy the Druid or the Mimrod. So, you know, whatever. No big deal. Also, in case you're wondering, yes, the cats are, after clearing 1 Benevedon, the cats will show up outside of every entrance to a Benevedon area. So you can also use the cats as kind of a signal that you're on the right track if you're looking for them after the first one. So, and they sell the same thing at each cat shop. They're just copied all around the world. And the cat shops will upgrade at some point, maybe even a couple times. As we kill Benevedons, make sure you check back with them to see if their inventory gets expanded, because it should eventually. Maybe after 4 of them or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so we've got ourselves an ice dungeon. Enough messing around. You can see that Charlotte is doing a little bit of damage to these guys, and then Angela's still just hitting for 1. These enemies are the worst things in here. Luckily, we killed them before anything bad happened. But if you remember the Copper Knights back on, you know, the mountain of Laurent Mountain, whatever it's called, the wind area, they had that nasty AoE tech that did a ton of damage. Well, these guys have another one that's even worse, so... They're by far the most dangerous enemy in the ice area, and the only enemy that's not weak to fire, if I understand correctly. So it's easier to take advantage of elemental weaknesses in this dungeon. Flame Saber works really well, and Fireball, Exploder, whatever you want to use magic for, Fire Element works really well as well. Which is kind of why I would suggest this dungeon's easier than the Earth one, where the enemies have random elements. Now, the second most annoying enemy in this dungeon is the fish frog things. They have a similar effect of the slimes in the Earth area. They attack down the entire party, often before you can even start the battle. So, unless you've got an attack up buff, which, you know, we'd have to use consumable items for, which kind of sucks, you'll basically need to use magic to kill them. Because even Duran with a up top of the line weapon can't hit them for very much damage. We're hitting them for about 38 damage right now per swing after our attack power has been debuffed. And I've been doing some testing and a little bit of math. I am pretty confident that the attack down, and probably like the only one I've been testing is attack down, but I think it's pretty safe to say that all of the debuff spells actually cut your power, attack power, defense power, etc. in half. So, just keeping track of like the fish monsters, Duran is able to hit them for over 100 damage normally, and then if he gets defense down, or attack down that is, he's hitting them for 30 to 40. And his attack power, if you look at it and just do a quick subtraction, you can get a pretty good idea what the effect is when you get attack down. I mean, I'll do some of this on camera. The live tubers got to see a bit of this already, but just to give you an example. So we got 221 attack power. So if attack minus defense equals damage dealt, these enemies, for instance, have about 100 defense, or 110 defense, right? The one we just died, and then the seahorse has even more. So if we're doing 221 damage minus defense equals damage output, which I'm pretty sure is how the formula works. You know, it gives you can kind of get you get an idea of how much defense power all the enemies have by how much damage you do, if it's that simple. So those enemies have around 110 defense, and then the seahorse must have probably more like 140 or so. And then when you get attack down, if their defense is half of what your regular attack power is or higher, you will always do 1 damage because that's the minimum. Okay, we got defense down before I could even test it out. I wanted to show off my regular attack power on these guys. But anyway, we're able to do about 40 damage per swing on a fish man with Duran. I am pretty confident that we will be able to hit him for about 140 not debuffed. Because I'm pretty sure he's got about 100 defense. Well, I guess that would mean I'd be doing about 80. I don't know. Look, I thought I had the math figured out, and then I got to level up, and it mixed me up. We're definitely doing 40 damage with our defense down, though. That much I'm sure of. Our attack down. Oh man, I'm losing it. Losing my mind. I've also sort of explored most of this dungeon off camera, or well, not off camera, but not recorded for the future tubers. Just because it took so long to grind up our gold, I got to show off quite a lot of the dungeon and explore it ahead of time for the live tubers. I would say overall this dungeon is also a little bit shorter than the Earth one, so another argument maybe to do this one earlier than the Earth dungeon. A little bit shorter and more of an elemental kind of conformity. Not that I've been taking advantage of it, but Flame Saber does work pretty well. The problem with Flame Saber, I suppose, is most of these rooms are pretty small with only a couple enemies. Sheesh, they keep using their weapon, their power down before we can even get a single attack off. It's really hard to test out the math when I can never do a regular attack on them. But yeah, anyway, debuffs in this game are incredibly powerful, kind of brokenly so, to the point that they kind of wreck the game. They make enemies are too weak if you can debuff them, and they completely destroy your party's effectiveness if you get debuffed. I was talking about it to the future tubers or the live tubers a little bit, but basically my solution is, and this is not just my solution, but what I would prefer, and I think is much more common nowadays, is rather than, what I'm assuming here is if they're cutting your attack power in half, they're cutting it in half before the calculations for defense, and they should do it after the calculation. After, like, so like if, you know, the simple example is if you do 200 damage, a 200 attack power minus 100 defense equals 100 damage dealt, if that's how the game works. Then, if you do the attack down first, then you go from 200 attack power down to 100, and then 100 attack power minus 100 defense is 0, or, you know, 1 damage. But if they do it after the fact, then you would do still 200 attack power minus 100 defense equals 100, and then cut that in half instead. And now you're still doing some damage. The debuff is still very powerful. Like, that's still a very large decrease. But it's not completely game-breakingly broken. Like, basically, going from 100 damage to 1 completely ruins any semblance of balance. Either you can counter the defense down, or you're useless, like, or the attack down. Like, if you don't have an alternate form of attacking, or cleansing, or rebuffing, you know, there's a few options, obviously. But if you can't get rid of that attack down, and you have no other way to deal damage, you've lost. Like, one spell has completely killed you. Whereas if you're only doing half damage, you'll just take a little bit longer to win the fight, which is probably a lot more balanced. And, like, it works for the enemies, too. Like, if you can defense down or attack down a boss, which we will be able to do one day, it makes them so easy, it's trivial, right? Like, the debuffs are real bad for our allies, and they're also real bad when we apply them on enemies or bosses, so. Anyway, not to ramble too much about it, but it's the problem with the earth area and the ice area. There's too many attack down monsters, and they ruin the balance here. Like, this one guy cast attack down as soon as we walked in the room, and therefore it took, I don't know, 5 times as long to kill him. And, you know, we are playing with a fairly powerful character with pretty good levels for this area, and up top of the line weapons for Duran, at least. And basically buffing only his attack power in a class that focuses on attack power damage, you know, like, he should be hitting pretty hard. So this room, just to save a little bit of time, if we go down from here, it will connect up to one of those horizontal rooms with doorways on the top of it. I don't want to spend too much more time exploring this area, but there's a few little baby loop-de-loops that don't take too long to clear through. Oh, can we get an attack on before he casts his attack down? Alright, there. 113 damage pre-debuff. Pretty reliably 113 damage or so. So we do 40 damage if he debuffs us. And I don't think it's 113 minus 70 or something weird like that. I'm pretty sure it's our attack power 220 minus his defense, or our attack power cut in half minus his defense, which is probably how we get to the 40 number. Anyway, that's just... Feel free to look it up if you've got a strategy guide or you want to do some testing yourself, but I'm fairly confident that's how the mechanics are working. At least that's what it seems like. Speedrun. Oh, we're always speedrunning. Speedrun our death. Anyway, this dungeon's fine. You know, like, there aren't too many of the knight enemies. The knights are the real dangerous ones. The fish are more annoying than anything. As long as you've got someone that can rebuff or cast some magic, you know, you'll kill them quick enough. Yeah, don't get debuffed. It's, well, don't get your attack debuffed is the real thing. If you're playing as a physical attacker, like Kevin, Hawkeye, or Duran, having your attack cut in half basically means you can't do anything unless you've got some sort of spell. It doesn't matter much for Angela or Charlotte, but then you got to use magic. I assume intelligence or spirit down might have a similar effect on their magic, but I don't know. Magic calculations are going to be a lot more difficult to figure out than physical attack. Yeah, defense down, if it works the same fashion, would also be pretty deadly. I mean, I guess there's some enemies that do that. I think the cockatrice had something like that earlier, and then we all died. So yeah, enemies with attack or defense down pretty much ruin it. Evasion down doesn't seem to matter too much, at least. Hit rate and evasion down, you can survive those two. Maybe intelligence down. Alright, Frigmund! Hello there, friend. Fairly confident he'll be weak to fire damage, and this time, rather than bothering to buff the girls, I'm just gonna buff Duran and have him, actually do the fight. There, 200 damage is beautiful. And I don't know how attack buffs work. I don't think they double your attack power, but it might be like plus 50% or something like that. Certainly possible. What I will do at least is do the I'm not gonna like give Flame Saber to the girls or anything, but I will buff their intelligence and spirit and do some spells with them a little bit. If I had to take a guess, I would say the buffs probably are like plus 50%, and the debuffs are, minus 50%. It's just cutting things in half is more effective than adding half on top of it, right? Alright, let's see how a Charlotte spell works. I mean, Duran is going to do the bulk of the damage here with Fire Saber and attack up. Yeah, 164 is fine, but he's doing almost double that per attack. So realistically, Charlotte is mostly on heals, really. Like, that's her job. But Angela is supposed to be a damage dealer. So Exploder should do pretty well, especially with her buff. It did 474 damage, about the same as we got on the last boss fight. I gotta use my special more regularly. I don't want to use this one. I want to use the other special. Hey there, proselyte. Alright. Oh, he's spamming some magic here. Oh, I got Frostied, so now my good character can't do anything. Good choice, boss. Frosty lasts quite a long time. Angela's special, her tech, did 7 damage. Wow. Yeah. The defense formula, the damage formula, is probably in need of some modernization in this game, I think. It's fine for the 90s, but nowadays, defense scaling is pretty brutal. Anyway, this is a cool boss. I like how he goes underneath you. I don't know if you can even attack him at this point, yeah. You can probably hit him with magic, though. One of the perks for Angela. She doesn't care about enemies hiding underneath. Well, that's gonna hurt. Actually, that didn't hurt at all. 20 damage to my healers? That's nothing. So it's quite likely the intelligence and spirit up buff actually gives them quite a lot of magic defense. So I perhaps should consider putting that on Duran as well, as most of the damage we take on a boss is actually magic damage. And his magic defense kind of sucks. But yeah, it kind of ends up being a game about buffs more than anything. First time catching a stream? Well, welcome to the stream. Alright. Spike frozen. 100 damage. Not too bad, all things considered. Not even going to heal up for that. But yeah, if you don't have access to some kind of magic or long-range attack, there's some item magic that would work. This guy would really suck. I wonder if he's countering magic with magic, though. Because we seem to be getting one spike freeze for every exploder, but now he's off screen. I don't even know if that would have hit him. Alright, my Flame Saber is still online. We're hitting for like 200 damage. 290 damage. I don't know why my tech bar is not charging up. It was weird. It's definitely hitting him. Alright, another 290. He's got enough evasion to be a bit of a punk here, clearly. But yeah, we definitely get way more DPS. He increased his magic defense, which we can fix, if you care. You're going through the endless train wreck of X Division. Yeah, that's gonna take a while. I'm not sure why my tech bar is not filling up on these hits. I know I'm hitting him for like 290. Every time you see a 290, it's Duran. Oh, did he decrease? Something he did lowered my damage significantly. Did anyone see what effect he put on us? I still have Flame Saber. I assume he may have dispelled us or something. Let's try another strength up. Interesting that he could dispel us, but not our Flame Saber. Yeah, now we're hitting him for full. So that probably got rid of our intelligence and spirit buff. He must have like an AoE dispel or something. Anyway, clearly buffing Duran with Flame Saber and strength is all you really need, but yeah, these bosses, especially when you can take advantage of elemental weakness, not too bad. There's a reason I was happy with having Duran with his Flame Sabers. Alright. 2 down, 6 to go. That only took like 20 minutes, not bad at all. And level ups. Alright, well, unfortunately, no more strength. I'm gonna say stamina still then. He's a pushover. Well, if you don't have buffs or debuffs, I bet you he'd be a little bit more difficult. Alright, intelligence, or sorry, this is Enchantress, this is Charlotte. I wish it would just tell you the person who's level. I know the person is highlighted, but when I'm looking at the stats, I don't see the name of the person. I think they should have the name over there. Anyway, her spirit is maxed, stamina is maxed for now. Intellect just gives her magic defense. I'm gonna give her a little bit more strength, I guess. I don't know. And finally, Angela. Also maxed intellect and stamina. Her spirit does help out with her Lucent Beam. Yeah, it's fine. We'll stick with that. Alright, now I don't expect the cats to sell anything new yet, but let's double check. Yeah, my hunch will be they unlocked after killing one Benevodon, and I bet you like every 2 more. So number 1, 3, and 5, or 1, 4, and 7. Something like that. Some sort of pattern like that. Because after you get to 8, you should be getting access to a new town pretty soon. Anyway, we don't have to walk out of here. What am I doing? So I think I still want to do the elemental, like the main 4 elements first, the easy elements, because they're all easily counterable by flame sabers and stuff. So we've done earth and ice. Wind is a bit of a walk to get to the windstone, but I think we can land right next to the fire one pretty easily. Also, they are all highlighted on the map, so if you're lost, you know, they're shining. So it's in the volcano, the fiery gorge. I know we could land at the oasis where Hawkeye is, but I feel like there is a way to land right inside, or right by the entrance. Well, I'm not 100% sure, but let's see here. Yep, so we landed right at the entrance, which is beautiful. Whenever you find the cats, you know you're in the right spot. And just to double check, no new weapons yet. Kind of wish I had the blue mace, because it looks nice. Oh, we could, that's actually, I mean, it's kind of a waste of money, but Now we can afford the final weapon upgrade that's currently available for Angela. Goodbye, 7,000 gold. We'll miss you. Soon, when we get another shop, and I'm short 15,000 gold, I'll be like, yeah, why did I waste all this money? But maybe it'll take her from 1 damage to more than 1 damage. We'll see. Sadly, her attack power is probably never going to catch up at this point. I mean, until she gets promoted. We got to get to level 38. Here. Alright, so we've still got almost 8,000 gold. Could be worse. I haven't really used a whole lot of item magic. Well, okay, actually one thing I should do here before we go to the next dungeon, just while I'm thinking about it. She's trying. Yeah. Let's pull out some more of these things. So Sahagin chips. Man, this screen is so slow. Bullet scales. Drake scales for defense. And I definitely have had some good use on the Spectre Eye. It doesn't come up super often, but having Dispel is pretty awesome. And I think if we need it, we can pull it out. But I actually have run into a few situations where I was missing having a cleanse. I know Charlotte can cast, whatever the name is, the cleansing rain thing, but I think it'd be, just in case she's the one that gets turned to stone or such and such, because she doesn't have like she doesn't really have any status protection herself. Like, you know, if you're playing Final Fantasy 1, you put a ribbon on your white mage or whatever. She, you know, you can't do that, so I need to give her, what's the name of the thing? Stardust Herb, there we go. So if I just have some Stardust Herbs, then I can cleanse anybody, basically. The screen is trying to. Okay. I have a feeling I went the wrong way there. Oh, maybe not. Now I went the wrong way. I mean, I was so happy I landed right by the cats, but then I went the wrong way anyway. But we know how to get to the volcano. And the last time we were in the volcano, like 70 or 80% of the paths were blocked by fire. So we should be able to get down there now and enter. Yeah, X Division, I don't want to ramble about it too much, but it's fun in smaller dosages. If you stick to it too long, it's gonna give you a bad time. And I think it's better in the first 2 phases. Once you get into phase 3 or 4, it's probably kind of too much. Alright, so the enemies are up to level 32. And here we go. We didn't see any of these in the ice cave where we could have seen them. Say goodbye to all your HP. And people wonder why I put so many points in stamina. Yeah, that'll very easily one-shot you if you're not pretty high on HP. That means we need 2 heal spells to get into the survivable range from that. Giving the Seiken shields is way too much. You just have to... It's actually... That's not the most broken part about the Seikens. You can generally shoot them in the back or hit them with... what's it called? Area of effect or something. There are ways to get around Seiken shields that isn't so brutal. But melee weapons, for instance, completely ignore them. But I could see them being frustrating for people. Alright, we got evil ninjas, which are probably dark element. Salamanders, which are certainly fire element. Last time we were in this room, this exploded. Yeah, this is another bad music area. Good point. Earth Dungeon sucked. Fire Dungeon also has the dumb music. Let's start testing out some magic here. I mean, I would assume ice is the element to go with, but, you know. If it's like the Earth Dungeon, then it'll also not actually work, because something will be immune to ice for some reason. Okay, so he's got his summon attack. That's the same one Carly has. Even though he was dead, still managed to cast it. Well, you only see alien blood grenades on terror missions, and they're supposed to be really difficult, so... The logic is... don't do very many terror missions or terror ships unless you're ready for them, because it's always going to happen. So I'm going to try to ambush this guy with single target high damage spell before he even activates, so he doesn't have a chance to do his tornado move. If you're in phase 2, if you're in the X Division phase 2, everything that worked in phase 1, the best stuff from phase 1, the chemical grenades, isn't going to hold up because the enemies get a lot better gas defense in phase 2. So even if you get level 2 gas grenades, they're not going to be as strong on level 2 enemies. Well, if you're in phase 4, you should be pretty familiar with how it works then, by then. The tier 4 chem grenades do work pretty effectively, but it's like one of the very last things you'll unlock. But, I mean, that's just... This game is so dumb. You think X Division is bad? X Division's easy. Sorry, but yeah, X Division's got nothing on this. Freaking hell. At least you have to group everybody up all together for X Division to kill your guys. I can't. We've used 3 Cup of Wishes. This is number 4. 4 revives. We still can't get into combat here at this punk. And he was like basically dead. He had no HP left. Oh, all right. Fire Dungeon's not off to a very good start. Can we just not fight these guys anymore, please? Just ignore them. I don't care. I'm really not interested in that. Dead end. Actually, the Tomato Man is not weak to ice anyway, so we'll just kill the one that is weak to it and melee down the Tomato Man. I don't think Tomato Mans are weak to anything specifically, but I don't know. They're weak to getting stabbed by a sword. X Division's 1 out of 100 only. Yeah, that's why we're gonna speedrun it. Next live stream, we're just gonna go no sleep until we beat the game. Super easy. Thanks, Undine. You've got a cool animation for that spell. Alright. Do some more Glacier on this guy. He's not... I'm pretty sure Swordsters are not weak to any element. If they are, they might be weak to, like, Dark or something. But, you know, he's got to go down, or else he just wipes the party again. It's like every time you run into one of these guys, he could just wipe the entire group. So, I'm not a huge fan of that, that's for sure. We have to get past this one. I don't have any way to debuff him. Debuffing is probably one of the most difficult abilities to get. Only 2 characters? No, 3. Technically 3 characters can learn debuffs. But a lot of that is like at 3rd promotion. Alright, so save station, and then we'll head on over to the Firestone, which I assume will probably lead us a little bit deeper into the volcano, where we'll eventually find the Fire of Abaddon. I don't know why all the side passages opened up. Like, we already could get here before this phase of the game. Like, you know, there was a path this direction, and all the side routes were blocked by firewalls. But I'm pretty sure we have to go this way anyway to get to the next fight. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am totally wrong. I thought this would hop, skip, and a jump across. Alright, so if that was where the Fire Mana Stone was, where do we go now? It's nice to have a save spot anyway. Like, still very valuable to have a place to heal up and save, given the insta-death. Yeah, I think I've said before, Kevin, Hawkeye, Rice, probably the best party. Just don't worry about AoE magic. You don't need it. You can get Kevin in his light class to get healing and AoE healing if you want. And he does a ton of physical damage. You can do debuffing with Hawkeye, and also pretty good damage dealing. And then go buffing with Rice. And you'll have AoE buffs with her, so she can buff the whole party, strength, and everything. You're not missing out on too much with that party. A little bit late on the heals, but heals are not that important. Carly is not that important, is mostly what I'm saying. Ah, well, we're dead. Sweet. He was dead. He was already dead, and he did his 400 damage AoE. Charlotte also has the least amount of HP. Or Angela does? Whatever, one of these characters. So, they're dying all the time, too. You don't have to capture every rank of every unlock. You just need to capture the last rank of everything. If you miss out on a phase 2 something or rather, whatever it is, you know. If you miss out a doctor in phase 2 or whatever, you just catch the equivalent in phase 3 or 4 and you'll get all the same tech from it. Oops, no, I want to use some magic, please. At least the ninjas aren't so bad. In Secret of Mana, you know, those master ninjas at the end of the game, those guys were brutal. These guys are pretty chill comparatively. Well, they were until recently. And that didn't do that much damage. Well, we're down to enemy magic spam, straight out of Secret of Mana. I guess we should try out some Ice Saber while we're down here, on the next big screen. See if it works. Thunder technique is terrifying? What does it do? I didn't notice it. Whatever he did, if that was thunder technique, it did like 70 damage. Alright, let's try some old ice magic. Ice Saber. AoE defense down. Oh, yeah, that's dangerous. I think, you know, Duran would be a bit better if he'd stop missing all the time. Tomato Man, definitely don't take any bonus damage. That was a... Here I am, I'm like, yeah, okay, I bet you that's the boss, and I bet you there's a healing statue over here. Or the other way around. One or the other. Okay. Maybe I was wrong. This was just a trap. But I'm pretty sure we're on the right track anyway. least there's no attack down jerks that cast it immediately when you enter the room, like the ice and the earth areas. Fire dungeon, I'd put it in the middle of the 3 so far. Definitely has some annoy. Oh, that's right back to the beginning of the area, I think. Interesting. We're gonna try right down right. Of course, we're trapped in here again. Sweet. Let's try to lock this ninja down a little bit. If he's got the AoE defense down, that's enough to be a little bit cautious. Hammer time. That's 200 damage and some light elements. Another 200 damage. Yeah, that gives Carly. Carly did 200 damage for 2 MP. Okay, that's attack down. Great. Okay, so he's got all the AoE debuffs. That's pretty annoying. Stupid ninjas. It's a good thing we've got 2 casters in the party that can get us through, because we're in a trap room. We can't even get out until we kill. So, like, Duran, unless I feel like using an attack up seed, he just can't, he can't even contribute. Yeah, same as Hawkeye at the end game, except not at the end game. If you miss a bomber operator, you can just get the next tier of bomber operator and you get all the same stuff. It's no big deal. All you're missing is like 1 data hack, maybe. In fact, it's really easy to miss operators because you don't always need them all anyway. It's like 50-50 if you need one or the other alternative. Sometimes you'll need a bomber operator, sometimes you'll need a terror operator. And the other version will do nothing. Alright, here comes the heat. You have to fight a bomber battleship? Eh! But you've got tier 4 tech, so I wouldn't say one phase's bomber battleships are going to be much more difficult. I mean, it takes longer in the late game, but you gotta do those missions anyway. Alright. I feel like we gotta be getting pretty close to the end of this place. I don't know. Could still be a ways to go, but I'm assuming we'll get a healing shrine soon. For all I know, we've still got 5 hours of fire dungeon to go. The ducks aren't too bad though, right? They don't do anything serious. We can just fight them out manually or physically. This is feeling kind of like the end too again. But for real this time, right? Well, that looks like a dead end, probably, so we'll go the other way. I mean, the duck does like 1 damage to everybody, so like I don't mind. It's weird how much of a difference there are between enemies. Like, one enemy will do 1 damage to you and basically be completely useless, and then the next enemy will hit you like for 500 damage and kill you in 1 shot. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, but there's definitely some balance quirks to this game. Alright, level up. I always love level up time. At least we can get a bit more stamina. I mean, that's partially why we're taking low damage from weak enemies. We've got a lot more defense than maybe normal, so physical hits aren't hitting us too hard. Oh, good! Zan B with no chance to save. Oh, well. There must have been a safe spot somewhere nearby, I just missed it. Joke's on him, though. I can save anywhere I want. I think the game... It's trying too hard to be Diablo, giving you only, what am I trying to say? Only giving you one stat per level, so you can only sort of power up one attribute at a time. I don't think you get enough passive defense, strength, growth, just by getting level ups, so that unless you put points in completely balanced, one in each thing, you're never... Like, the game doesn't know how to scale, right? Because it assumes you take a certain stat progression, and if you take something else, you're either way too strong in one area or way too weak in another. I feel like that's kind of what's going on. It went too hard on the, you know, manual stat distribution. Alright, so we've got a Gygus-like boss that separates between phases, and you can't hit him physically, which is not the nicest. But now we've got the main buffs up. Although I should put that on Duran as well. There's too many sprites on screen, so sometimes the text is getting a little bit overruled here. Alright, there he is. Kill him! 1 damage. That's... What? Why are we doing 1 damage? There we go. It wasn't me. It was the girls hitting for 1. I'm hitting for 280 like usual. If I can hit him. 482 on the Glacier. Well, that's... If I can't hit him reliably with physical, that's going to be how we do this. We've got a pretty powerful spell. Angela can take him out. He's completely immune to physical right now, so... Alright. Bit of a heat wave. That didn't do too much damage, though. She's got lots of MP. It's been a long time since we ran out of MP on anybody. That decreased defense. Now, I haven't seen this guy do much physical attacks, but we can undo that buff on Charlotte. At the very least, we have the ability to fix that. It'll give her boosted defense, even. Not just undo it. But I don't want her dying. There we go. We got whacked. Whew. We just did 1,000 damage in the time it took her to cast 1 spell. Whew. Duran! I love it. Just keep up the melee DPS. That's where we get the... That's where we kill stuff. That's how we do it. Imagine if we had the debuff to reduce his defense in half. We'd probably be hitting physically with Duran for like, I don't know, 400 or something. Maybe 500 per hit if we defense downed him. He's got some pretty good fire attacks, though. But they actually aren't doing as much... Like, isn't it crazy that a random knight that we've been fighting just as a random enemy encounter has an attack that can do, what, like 400 damage to the whole party? And then the boss has magic that does like 100 to single target. Balance, huh? There must be some bug with the way weapon techs work or something. Either weapon techs or the enemies get some sort of stats imbalance that shouldn't really take effect. Like, they shouldn't be doing 300 damage, or 500, whatever. There's almost 400 damage per hit. Unless you've got, like, defense down and they get attack up, or some combo of really bad effects. Just to passively be able to hit you for 400 to your whole group instantly. That's not very fair. Now, I think that the boss got attack up, but I don't think I've seen him do a single physical attack. Cool fire tornado, though. Pretty cool looking boss for the Super Nintendo. I have to give, like, this game really does get a lot of bonus points for the bosses looking cool. Pretty high quality sprite work, I think. Looks like he lowered Carly's defense again and increased his own physical attack. So if he does do a melee attack, he'll kill her. But he's dead. Maybe gave them player techs and didn't nerf them? Yeah. It's probably a level 3 player tech. Yeah. You won! Only 5 left. Well, I didn't have as much trouble in this dungeon as I did in the Earth dungeon. I was a little bit higher leveled. Started like the same level as the enemies, so a little bit more balanced in my favor, but... Okay, we're starting to run out of... I bet you we're at the strength and stamina cap for... I bet you 17 is as high as you can get at tier 2. And then stamina is probably somewhere around 16. So at this point, we're just raising whatever backup stats we think might help. For now, intellect, I guess. We're probably, like, pretty much capped out. I bet you 17 is your highest for your primary attribute right now. Alright, well, everyone's level 32. Not bad. What was that, 51 minutes? Let's see if we can find the next dungeon, although we'll probably save that for the next episode. Oh, first off, talk to the cats. Well, we'll talk to the cats when we find the next dungeon. We're gonna do wind next to finish up our 4 basic elementals. Congratulations, you're a yellow ankylo. Alright. So the wind one... What castle is this? This one might be related to the Navarre thieves. I know this is the Laurent castle. I was just thinking it'd be nice to land closer to the Windstone. I'm gonna try landing over here, see what this is, just in case this is like right... Shimmering Ruins. Oh, this might be the light one? Yes. Okay, this is, I'm actually very confident this is this is not where I wanted to go. If you want to do the light dungeon, this is the one, this is where to go, though. Shimmering Ruins kind of gives it away. I'm looking for the wind one. And, maybe the dark one after light. The light one I remember being kind of tough. If I remember it as difficult from 20 years ago, or whatever it was, it's probably going to be rough. So let's do wind next. And we're gonna talk to the cats when we get there. So the goal will just be to hit the wind banistone, I think. That thing should have some importance in your story. It's possible. I just wanted to see if this path ever opened up. This is just like... Oh, I know. This is part of Reese's story. Yeah, yeah. For the most part, this is just a weird dead end for anyone except Reese. She gets to do something down here. Can I play Might Magic 6? I could. Maybe I'll just play it on my own time. I'll just tell you guys about it after the fact. I'll put an update video out and say, I played Might Magic 6 again. It was awesome. No, I didn't record it. Why? Why would I record it? I would just play it. It's a good game. Hey, look, it's a cat. And it's another cat. I guess it wasn't too hard to find the entrance. Okay. I don't think there's any upgrades here yet. Yeah, same armor as before, but maybe new weapons? I kind of had a hunch that it would be four dungeons, like half of them, and then you'll get a weapon upgrade at the cat shop. Yeah, this is the same stuff as we had last time. Okay. So we got one more dungeon to save up some gold. And then we'll probably... I mean, maybe it's more than one. But I'm pretty sure the cats do upgrade a couple times. So I'm guessing one more elemental, and then we'll see some better cat gear. Probably. So I'm pretty sure this is the entrance. No, this is all level 8. Maybe down and left? I do kind of remember the wind. Yeah, that's a dead end for sure. I kind of remember this being one of those weird ones that it's a little bit hard to find the entrance to the new area. Just because the wind stone is kind of isolated from everything else. Do we have to go all the way through this dungeon to where the windstone actually is? Oh no, things are level 34 from this point out. Okay, good enough. So that means another area with knights that can one-shot us. Sweet. All right, well, we'll take it from here next episode. I wasn't 100% sure how this was gonna go, but yeah, everything's level 34, so the whole area got upgraded for better or worse. Probably mostly worse with copper knights. I wonder if you put silence on them if they can use weapon techs. Because that should be a possible spell that you can pull off. I think Angela can get a spell that causes silence if you go a specific upgrade route. Healing while floating. Alright, well, looks like we'll figure out how to get through this area in our next episode. We'll hit the Wind Mana Stone or Benevodon. And silence is hard to come by. Well, fair enough. And yeah, we'll cover that next episode. I might do light after that. Or maybe I'll try to find the darkness one if I can remember where that is. But we're getting to the point where we're going to have to do some of the harder ones. Harder in the sense that we don't have an element to counter. It's nice to take advantage of these sabers. I figured I wanted to take advantage of my 4 elemental sabers first. But this is 4. We're done. After that, we've got Moon, Dryad, which don't really have counters easily. And then Light and Dark, assuming we can find the Dark one. But the Dark one is kind of weird, if I remember correctly. So maybe we will do Light after this, because at least Light is countered by Darkness. Although we don't have a Dark Saber, we would get one, I think, after we promote. Maybe we save the Light Shrine till after we promote at level 38. Because Charlotte should learn Dark Saber at like, well, it might be level 39 or 40 for all I know. But she'll eventually learn it. And we'll learn some really good sabers on Duran at 39, 40, 41-ish area. But basically we have to do them all, right? Like, the enemies in this dungeon were what? Level 34, I think? And this is number 4. So then it's 36, 38, 40, 42. It'd be pretty hard to promote and get all your level ups for anything but the last. Like, if you want to wait for your promotion, you can only really wait for like 1 or 2 Benevodon. You're going to have to kill the rest of them pre-promotion, pre-final promotion. The way I remember it, usually you're not getting promoted till after you're done all the Benevodons anyway, so we'll see. Anyway, we're going to want to start looking for seeds pretty soon. Maybe I'll have a double check. Before the next episode, maybe I'll double check where what good drops are for the promotion seeds. So we'll start figuring that out soon. We still got 6 levels to go, but, you know, want to start preparing. Anyway, that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and have a great day.